8C is removed. 8D, consideration of nominating and approving appointment of volunteer citizens. We need one member each for a tree board, Rushford Municipal Electric, and the Airport Commission. Ordinances, none. Reports, updates, and miscellaneous. Library Board, next meeting, March 7th, 2011. Legislative meetings with Representative Davis and Senator Miller, March 1st. What's that?
It's all the library, Selco and all the library. You know, it's like when the firemen all go up to the meet with the legislators, and when you know the.
Where's that?
Cities, at their offices, I imagine.
Up in the cities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going back to number 1 on the updates, I mentioned that I did contact BDM about the cost savings down at the wastewater treatment that might be available. I also, after getting some citizen input and hearing it from some others about, and we talked about it briefly, I think, at the last council meeting, but trying to figure out what our availability is, or what the opportunities are for us slipping in conduit into the streets, wherever we would break the street up, you know, and have that opportunity. So I also mentioned that to Tom Nagan, our electrical engineer for this project downtown. So I'm hoping, I guess, that doesn't become a problem with any of these, or cause any problems, and that we can move forward on that. Just as an addition, it would be a very small cost to the city to put that in at this time. So
I think it's wise to put it in when we've got the streets open.
Yeah. And then number 2, Kathy, the changes that are being discussed in your levy corrective meetings, your teleconferences, are they giving us any indication whether or not this is going to reduce cost significantly? Because I noticed that the last teleconference mentioned the reduction
of trenching.
The need for so much trenching.
And that's what they're doing now, is trying to put together a good tight number so we can get that to the DNR, because we had the DNR guy in on our last teleconference, so he would get all up to date as to how far along we are, so that he would feel comfortable to know that we're ready to advance and that we could be put on the list to get some of that money. Because you have to, they had 65 million and they're down to only like 2 or 3 million. So we need to get it allocated to us, you know. So he felt comfortable after the last meeting that we were far enough along and that we really were advancing, and he was gonna recommend to his boss that as soon as Bar Engineering had a good number that they felt was a safe number, that they would put in and allocate money and set aside money for us then. And then it's what that 50% matching thing. It's either matching money or there's that, I think it was in the minutes, there's a percentage based on median household income from the last census. So it depends if we can get our paperwork in place using old census figures, then our share to pay in the project may be less, because our new census figures will probably have more people and higher income.
You think so?
I think so. So we're hoping to get some numbers together, you know, fairly quickly. But there are some areas where they're still trying to get the the land figured out, because if we have to acquire some land, that's gotta be factored in there too. If we have to buy land from people, or if we have to do different things, it's gonna be more costly, but they've got a good handle on it.
Wasn't this all taken into consideration when they did their original estimates? I mean, they did a $250,000 study of this thing.
But at that time, they didn't do all the property line boundaries and the actual who owns what and where do we have easements. And now they're finding that we've got, there was a lot of easement paperwork and a lot of, where the Corps actually were, the land was taken over for the dike. And some of it still is in the name, like over in Brooklyn, a whole bunch of that dike area is still the name of the school. But we have a easement across it, so we have to get every single piece of property squared away as if, do we have the right to be there or not? And then they're trying to figure out the simplest, the easiest way to get the trenching done or to get that well put in without infringing on other people. But we also have this 15-foot tove of the dike thing that they have to work in. And over time, people have planted trees or put up fences or put up garden sheds or whatever, so some of those things have to be taken care of. Sometimes it's even things like planting a garden, it might be in the wrong place, and so we have to deal with that with all the people. And there's
I should have said this before Myron left, but this sounds like a government job.
Well, yeah, it's a big.
That's a great one-liner, huh? That's a great one.
It's a big job, no kidding. But we've got a whole bunch of reports back now from the Corps of Engineers on their last study of the dike, and now with Bar Engineering, this thing will be about the most perfectly mapped out, drawn out, you should know exactly where everything is when this is all done. There should be no questions on anything about ownership anymore. But they're trying to get that number together as closely as possible so we have a decent number to give to the DNR so we can get our funds allocated for that.
Okay, great. And I hope we don't miss out on all of the DNR money.
No, I think we'll be safe, yeah.